Hi there! So I thought I'd try a slightly different kind of video for once. This is a more unscripted style of review. Um, because today I am going to be talking about an ARC. I'm going to be talking about an advanced reader copy that I got from Netgalley in exchange for an honest review. That's so. This was fun. I've never gotten a book through Netgalley before. I have gotten an ARC before technically. When I was in college, I got to go to the Ontario Library Association Super Conference, but like only the sales floor. And I ended up picking up a couple of ARCs there, which I didn't actually read. And I've since been lost to time. I don't even remember what they were called. But yeah, this was my first time getting an ARC through Netgalley, which was fun. And was also really exciting because it was The Dragon Has Some Complaints by John Wiswell. So I was really excited about that. I'm not going to lie to you. Originally, I popped on Netgalley to see if I could maybe, like, if there were other books that I could get, or what. There was a one specific one that I was looking for, which unfortunately is not available in my region, so that's sad. But I also found, I was like, wait a minute, I follow John Wiswell on Blue Sky, and he said that his newest book is on Netgalley. So, okay, let's give this thing a shot. So I applied for it, and I got it, and I have now read the entirety of The Dragon Has Some Complaints by John Wiswell. Very exciting for me. This is my third John Wiswell book. It's his third novel, and so of course it's the third one I've read. But I read Someone You Can Build a Nest In last year. Really liked it. Read Wearing the Lion this year. Really liked that as well. Cried a whole bunch at that one. Oh my god. I'm not making a video about it, but I cried a lot at it. And then this one. I'm looking down here at my phone because it was an eARC, so I had to read it as an audiobook, as an ebook, which is unfortunate because it's not my preferred way of reading, but it is what it is. I am a little sad that I wasn't able to get an audiobook version of it, because I listened to both of his other books as audiobooks, and they both had like really, really great narrators for them. I especially really loved Hera's narrator in Wearing the Lion. Loved her. She was fantastic. But yeah, there at the time there was not an audiobook version available. I don't actually know. I haven't checked Netgalley to see if I would be able to get one now. But either way, I'm not. Whatever. It's fine. It's just a little sad, but that's okay. It's whatever. By the way, do you like my outfit? I wanted to have some kind of like dragon themed outfit, but the closest thing I have is I have my dragon ring. Let me bring it up here so you can see it. Is it focus? Okay, you can kind of see it back here. This ring has like dragon scale type things on it. I got it from, I think, like Anime North in like 2018, 2019, like a long time ago. But that's the only like dragony thing that I have. So instead I'm wearing my ocean and space cardigan, because the book takes place on a floating island in the sky, and so it's like, yeah, we've got like clouds and stuff, so we're gonna say it's thematic. We're gonna pretend, okay? Leave me alone. I don't know how much I'm gonna like. Already I'm like kind of iffy on doing unscripted stuff because it's just like I don't have a hard time being entertaining in an improvisational way, and it's like I prefer having a script. But we're gonna do our best here. So because this is an arc, and the book actually, as of recording, the book doesn't come out for like another month and a half. We're gonna be talking. I'm not going to be doing a whole like a whole plot summary, like a start to finish. Like for my Small Town Big Magic video and my Something Wicked video, I did like a start to finish summary of the entire. Hi, baby. Hello. You want to come say hi to the people? Oh, there he is. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Say hello. Oh. But I don't feel necessary. I don't feel that it's right to do that for an arc, for like a book that hasn't come out yet, and also spoilers. I liked this book. I really liked this book. Perhaps unsurprisingly, if I really liked his first two books, oh my god, I liked his third book. Crazy. But I did really like, sorry, do we have to do that? I did really like, The Dragon Has Some Complaints. I want you to go read it. So I will not be doing a whole, chapter by chapter plot summary or anything like that. So if that's what you're here for, sorry. I do still have a lot to say about it. Don't look at the runtime. I don't know what it is yet, but it's going to be long because I'm going to be rambling a whole bunch. So there's still going to be a lot to talk about here, even though this is going to be a more or less spoiler-free review. I will endeavor to keep it as spoiler-free as possible. Which is unfortunate because one of the things I really liked about it was the ending. I thought it was really good. So, womp womp. So I won't be giving a full chapter by chapter summary, but I will give you a brief spoiler-free synopsis. So The Dragon Has Some Complaints revolves around... Hi! Sir, what... Okay. The Dragon Has Some Complaints revolves around Garodai. I don't actually know if that's how his name is pronounced. This is another reason why I like the audiobooks, is because, boy, I would never have been able to figure out how to pronounce Shisheshin, just from reading it. That did not work for me. That I needed to listen to the audiobook for someone you can build a nest in. Garodai, I am also assuming, is just how it's pronounced, and that's how I'm going to be pronouncing it. And if that turns out to be wrong, fucking tough shit, I guess. That's what I'm calling him. His name is Garodai. Anyways, so it revolves around Garodai, who is a 3-headed dragon. He used to have 4 heads, but tragically, one of them, Lefty, was shot off some time ago. It's a little fuzzy on when exactly that was. I did find the time scale in this book... Oh, okay, bye-bye. I did find the time scale in this book difficult to keep consistent, but like I said in the Something Wicked video, that could just be a me problem. I do generally struggle with that in fiction in general, but also in my day-to-day life. So I'm willing to say that was a me thing. But anyways, so he / the 3 of them are, they're living out in the wild and trying to survive. There's some kind of human war going on between the dragon riders who live on this like floating sky island and this one nation that's like all like airships. Or they have a bunch of airships. I don't remember what I don't remember what anything is called. I'm notoriously bad with names. You will have to forgive me. Actually, wait. I have the book still on my phone. I can just look at this. So there's this war going on between the countries of Leonia and the FFR, and they are both kind of fighting over Cardosa, which is the floating island in the sky where the dragon riders live. And they are kind of mostly trying to stay out of it, keep to themselves. They don't because both Leonia and the FFR basically want to colonize Cardosa and make them part of their own states, their own countries, with, varying levels of rights. But that comes way later. At the start of the thing, Garadai is just kind of hiding out on the ground, and we see basically the fallout of the humans' war, almost literally, as a cannon shot that misses the flying, dragon riders and everything, comes crashing down into the forest where the wild dragons live. So, Garadai has been dealing with this for a long time and is just fucking miserable. They're missing a head. Their wings have been shot to shit. They've got a bad leg that has been broken and not healed properly, and it's bad. They're in a bad way. I keep saying they because there's 3 heads, and so he uses. Garadai is interesting because he uses he/they pronouns, but like only sometimes. The dragon himself is a he. He is a male dragon who uses he/him pronouns, but the 3 heads as a collective sometimes are often also referred to as they. So the 3 heads. There are 3 of them. They each have their own personality. They've all 3. We don't really know a lot about what they were like before losing Lefty, but it's pretty clear that losing one of their heads has had a pretty adverse effect on them. Like, they are definitely suffering from some severe trauma because of it, and also because of just living through hundreds of years of war. They're going through it. Maybe not hundreds of years, but certainly decades. They've been living through a long time of war. And they've been going through it. It sucks. So we've got three heads. We have Center Head, who's our main POV head. He's the one that we kind of see everything through. And he is cantankerous. He hates everybody and everything. Like, just everything sucks. He hates humans. He hates the rest of the dragons because they hate him. They think he's a human sympathizer, but no, he hates humans for realsies. He says, no, Lefty was the human sympathizer, and he's dead. I don't like humans. I hate humans. And he's just angry about everything, basically all the time. Then we have Upperhead, who has convinced himself that he is in fact a human, and has suffering is just no, being a dragon is just some kind of bad dream or delusion or a curse or something. I'm actually a normal human man, and I like to do things like taxes and yard work. Those are things that humans like, and I like those things because I'm a human and I want to go sleep in my human bed with my human wife that I definitely have because I'm a human, and humans have those. I love Upperhead. And then there's Bottomhead, and Bottomhead is starting to kind of go feral. He speaks in kind of simpler sentences. He's He's a little bit slower on the uptake. He's very much going through it. But yeah, so that's the three. That's the three of them. Like I say, we see everything through Centerhead's point of view. He is our point of view head. And so he's the one who hatches the plan to get up to the floating city where the humans will totally take care of them. Basically trying to get in there so that he can get free food, free medical attention, and so on. And then he's going to destroy all of them because he hates humans. He's like, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to once I'm better, I'm just going to eat everybody. Sure, champ. So Centerhead hatches this whole plan, and it works. They do get, they pretend to be an injured dragon, and they get taken up to the to Cardosa, the floating city. And the people kind of figure out basically right away that he's not one of theirs. He is pretty obviously a wild dragon. He's not on any of their records. There's nothing in there. And the first person to figure this out is Alexei, the first rider, basically the right hand man, right hand of the army. He's the first rider, Alexei. Okay, we'll go with that. And he's immediately just like, and then a little bit later, he's just like, they overhear him talking about Garadai, and with the guy who's in charge of the dragon stables or whatever, and he's just like, this is not one of ours. We need to do something about it. And he's just like, no, I have plans. And then the next day, a rider shows up for him. And this is Rania. And I loved Rania. Rania was great. So she's this kind of overly chatty go-getter, wants to be friends with everybody, just really enthusiastic about pretty much everything, just real sweetheart. And she is so excited. She's finally getting her own dragon. She finally gets to be a dragon rider. This is all she's wanted since she came to Cardosa. Most people who live in Cardosa, there are some people who were born there, but a lot of the people who come there are refugees from other places. Often sometimes the FFR. I was going to say often the FFR. No, there's 2 known FFR refugees, and they are, spoilers, Rania and Alexei. You find out about Rania pretty quickly, and Oleg is pretty obvious. I'm not going to lie to you. The book does try to kind of play that as a surprise, but it's just no, I got it. I'm with you, John. I'm on it. So Rania shows up, and she is so enthusiastic to have her own dragon, and just really just way over enthusiastic about everything, and just throws herself into taking care of Garadai, and basically helping him with his physical therapy, helping him learn to get. He's eventually able to fly again, and he's able to walk without pain. So he's he gets through it, and also she keeps having sex with people out back of the barn. And so she's, we find out later, she's basically just no, this is these are casual flings that everybody involved is just yeah, these are for fun. Doesn't need to be a whole thing. But there is one person that she'd really like to she'd really like to be, doing this with and whatever, but he doesn't feel the same. And it's like, anyway, so this keeps happening, and there's one encounter that basically leaves her in tears. There's this one dragon rider that she kind of hooks up with, who just sort of up and leaves kind of in the middle of it, and Rania is really going through it. She's just like nobody actually wants me around. Like, she feels very isolated from pretty much everybody else. And a huge part of this is because of the second rider, Cosmos, who really, really fucking hates Rania. The reasons for this are mostly to do with just, again, the fact that Rania is from the FFR, this, regime that is waging war against them, and so on. And Cosmos is convinced that Rania is going to turn traitor. She also doesn't really like Alexei, who is also from the FFR. Doesn't really like him either. But really has it out for Rania. Does not like her at all. And she has, as second rider, she has a lot of pull with the other riders, and so Rania kind of gets isolated and tossed aside a lot. And it's rough. There's a lot of really relatable feelings as a formerly bullied neurodivergent child, so it's fun. Yeah, eventually, in an attempt to comfort her, Garadai reveals that he can talk. Now, all of the other dragons, the tame dragons that he's seen up until this point, none of them talk. He's tried talking to them. None of them have said anything back. He doesn't know if it's because they can't talk for some reason, which is insane because dragons invented language, according to this world. Dragons invented language, so why they should be able to talk. Why can't they talk? So it's either they can't talk, which is insane, or they won't talk, which is also weird. So it's like, why won't they talk to me? He cannot figure this out for a really, really long time. And he accidentally ends up revealing to Rania that he can talk, and he manages to convince her that, oh no, we have a special bond. We have a very special bond, and that's why I can talk to you. But also, I will not be able to talk anymore if you tell anybody if anyone else finds out that I can talk. Yep. And she just, immediately buys this. If a dragon started talking to me, if my cat started talking to me and said, but this will only work as long as you don't tell anyone else, I'd have no reason not to believe him. I don't know. So now they can talk to each other, but only in private. They do manage to keep this a secret for most of the book. But they talk all the time in the middle of fights and what have you, because it's like, well, the fucking, when you're going really fast through the air, fucking no one else is going to hear you chatting because you're going really fast. There's that wind friction or whatever. That's not what it's called. I don't know, I'm not a scientist. Leave me alone. The whole thing is more or less, there's a lot of plot going on, but a lot of it is kind of character driven, mostly about Garadai and especially Centerhead, but all three of them. It's about his healing process. It's about him finding community, and going through a lot of growth and development. And also, just kind of managing to, fight off the people who are threatening their way of life. They're just like, no, we've decided to make a community for ourselves. We're willing to ally with people, but we will not be subsumed by them. and we won't like we don't want to be subsumed by a collective. We don't want to be taken over by outside forces or whatever. We want to be ourselves. And that's a huge part of what the book is about. And that's where my kind of synopsis is going to end, because again, I don't want to get too far into spoilers. There's some really, really cool and interesting stuff that happens in this book, and I would suggest checking it out for yourself. But from here, we're just going to talk about like characters and other stuff about the book rather than the actual plot. So first of all, number 1, Centerhead. Again, our POV character, our main character for all intents and purposes. Listen. Listen. Some of my favorite characters of all time are like Piccolo and Kopaka and I don't care, he said caringly. I do love this kind of archetype. Sometimes if it's like a fucking, I don't know, what do you call this? The platonic tsundere, where it's just like I don't care about anybody. I'm angry. And then also just like has a huge heart and cares very, very deeply. I don't know what you call that, but I eat it up with a spoon. I love it every time. Centerhead is no exception. He cares so much. He cares so much. He has a big heart. But he is so traumatized and just like angry about everything that it takes some time for that to really come out. It's difficult for him, especially at first, to show how much he does love and to not feel ashamed of that. He's really interesting. I really enjoyed Centerhead. And then, of course, there's the other 2 heads. So Upperhead is a fucking sweetheart. Oh my god. Does Upperhead know that I would die for him? Like, I need him to know that I love him. He's such a sweetie. He is so shy. Like when they first get to Cardosa, he's like, oh, he's like so in awe of being surrounded by other humans that he's just like shocked into silence. And then even once they do all start talking to Rania, he is the one who holds back the longest because he is so shy and awkward about talking to humans in general, but like also he's just very shy and awkward. He's a real sweetheart. He is, despite everything, probably the most emotionally intelligent of the heads. But also, yeah, he's a sweetie, and I love him very much. I love him. And then there's Bottomhead, and Bottomhead is like if my cat Tara, could talk. Like if he could talk, 100%, that is what he would be like. I'm gonna go find him and show you him. 1 second. Ooh, nope, you snuggle with mom now. Here he is. So this is Tara. No, you snuggle with mom. Oh, and he is baby. If he could talk, he would be Bottomhead. Bottomhead just yells or not yells, he doesn't. Tara yells. Tara scream all the time. Bottomhead is mostly interested in food, but also he is very snuggly. He is a sweet boy. Are you a sweet boy? He's not very snuggly right now because I just woke him up. But yeah, if Tara could talk, he would sound like Bottomhead, and so I love him because he is a cat. Ah, yes, the 3 genders: angry, shy, cat. I love them. I love all 3 of them. They're all wonderful. And they're all, like I say, Upperhead is probably, I think, the most emotionally intelligent, but none of them are stupid. even Bottomhead. He's a little more simple, but he's not, I wouldn't call him dumb. He has, he has some emotional awareness. He has some intelligence. Like, he is, I really like him. I really like all three of them and the way that they play off of each other. They spend a lot of time, like, snapping at each other, especially Centerhead snapping at the other two early on. But it's clear that they do care very much for each other, and they do come across very much as, like, I guess siblings, more than anything. But yeah, they're fantastic, and I really like all three of them. Rania came across to me, at first I was like, oh no, am I gonna think she's really annoying? Because she was definitely coming across as a Manic Pixie Dream Girl at first blush. I thought she was kind of, I was like, oh god, she's gonna be just like, she's gonna be a Pollyanna type, just like everything is sunshine and rainbows and nothing bad ever, and it's just like, don't worry, but anyways, no, she is a horse girl with trauma, and I loved her, and I think part of that is because we are being kind of filtered through Centerhead's point of view, and he starts off as seeing her really annoying and weird, and then over the course of the thing he's just like, yeah, she can be kind of annoying and weird, but also I love her very much. She's got a huge heart. She's a lovely person. Everybody is so mean to her, and for what? Yeah, so you do kind of, I've kind of felt the same way about her that Centerhead did, which I mean, just goes to show you how strong Centerhead's voice is, I think. But anyways, yeah, Rania is great. Side note, I did keep reading it as Reyna, which was very funny to me because I have a Pathfinder character who is a cleric of a homebrew goddess named Reyna, and so it was just kind of like, what? It was weird. But no, her name is Rania, Rania, not Raina. It's Rania. Although Oleg does call her Rainy a couple of times, which is cute. Probably Rania, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. It's not Rania. I am not good at learning how to pronounce things. This book is definitely one of those because there's a lot of weird accents, like over S's and stuff that we do not have in English. And even that, it's like there's some in French, which I had to take in high school because I live in Canada and you have to take it in high school or elementary school, but up to grade 9 in Ontario. And but there's a whole bunch that don't exist in French either. And even the ones that do exist in French, I don't know how to pronounce most of them. I know accent aigu, and that's about it. Yeah, I really liked her. She was great. Which is good because if there's anyone who's a main character aside from the three Garodai heads, then it would be her. She is all over the book, and the book is kind of about her, but also not really. It is about Garodai. But like she has her own whole arc and everything, and she's really good. I really liked her a lot. I think the choice to have the Dragon Rider book be from the point of view of the dragon was really fun. I'm sure that John Wiswell is not the first person to do this, but I don't read a lot of Dragon Rider literature, so I don't know. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But anyways, so she was great. Who else was there? So there's also Alexi. I assume that's how it's pronounced. And we do stan a man who uses his Playboy flirt persona to cover up his insecurities. We do stan. We stan also a canonical trans character. Alexi is trans. This is pointed out to us pretty much immediately on meeting him, and it was a little head tilting of just like, how does the dragon manage to clock that? But yeah, he is a trans man and also the main romantic lead, which is pretty cool. And the thing is, I did spend the entire book picturing him as looking like my OC River. He doesn't. I don't think he necessarily does, but there's just something about specifically as looking like the me of my OC River that I made for Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. I'm 33 years old. Point being, yeah. Alexei is great. He's the first writer. He's also from the FFR. We eventually find out that he and Rania were actually childhood friends back in the FFR. And he managed to get out first and then sent back for her. And then, she also managed to escape and got to Cardosa, and felt like they couldn't connect once she got there, and it was such a awkward thing. But like, oh my god, Aero Ace people, I swear to God, write the best romance. And I'm not just saying that because I think I'm on the Aero spectrum also, but like, their relationship was insanely compelling to me. I loved them. They were really cute. I really liked them. Part of why this video took so fucking long for me to film is because I got sick. So if I sound a little weird and funky in this video, it's because I'm just coming down off of a cold. So we'll all just have to forgive me for that. I'm so sorry. And then the other kind of major character is Cosmos. Cosmos is like the kind of bitchy mean girl character in this one. She's a really interesting person. She sucks ass. But she's also a really interesting person. She has like she almost dies at one point, and that causes some changes. This is as good a time as any to transition into talking about the themes, because one of the main themes of this book is like trauma and PTSD. And it's just like every character in this book is traumatized and is coping with it in different ways. Some more healthy than others. Cosmos, prime example, almost dies at one point, and I wouldn't say her personality radically shifts, but there's definitely some changes, and Garadai does not like it, and frankly neither do I. Like, I mean, as narratively I do, but it's also just kind of like, uh-oh, yikey wakeys, I don't trust like that. Yeah, so she's got some pretty obvious changes to her personality. She starts being a lot nicer to Rania. We also learn a bit more about her her backstory, her whole deal, and so on. It's really interesting, honestly. Like, she sucks. Like, there's no excuse for the way that she treats Rania. Rania. There's no excuse for the way that she treats Rania. But also, she's not like a completely one-dimensional, bitchy mean girl in a horse girl movie, because that's what this is. This is a horse girl movie from the point of view of the horse. Oh my god, I did not really think about that before just saying that out loud, and it's just like, yeah, It's a horse girl movie a fantasy horse girl movie from the point of view of the horse. I should start recommending it like that. Listen. It's really good. I promise it's really good. Anyways, we're talking about trauma. So yeah, everybody's got some kind of trauma. Cosmo's there. Rania has definitely some trauma from her upbringing, and also from the way that she's been treated pretty much since arriving in Cardosa. Most people do actually really like her. I should say, like, a lot of people really do like her, but a big part of that is that she feels like she needs to be always being helpful so that she can prove she deserves to be here. Like, she's constantly like, oh, I volunteer at the bakery, I volunteer at the hospital, I volunteer at I blah, 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 blah. Because she feels like if she doesn't do these things, she doesn't deserve to be here. Yeah, that's, so one that you can absolutely, you can read that as a trauma response. But also it's, again, I've talked about this with, Wiswell's writing before, very relatable to me as an autistic woman. I think a lot of women in general, autistic or not, have this kind of thing of just like, I have to prove that I belong here. I have to prove that I can be here. But I think that also a lot of autistic people have that as well. And so if you're both autistic and a woman, it gets compounded. So it was, yeah, I related to Rania a lot, is what I'm getting at here. And of course, Garadai's PTSD is kind of the star of the show. Like, that's the whole book's about, baby. It kind of opens with the talking about like the trauma of like losing Lefty. He would not say it in those terms, but that's pretty much what it is. Like, they lost a part of themselves. Like, they constantly refer to having lost a part of themselves, and for them that is extremely literal. But for a lot of people with trauma will also talk about like losing a part of themselves in a more metaphorical way. And so having this as like a very literal very literal sense of losing part of yourself is really interesting. Really thought that was really good. And also disability, A begets B, trauma and disability tend to go, unfortunately go pretty tightly together. But like a huge chunk of the book, especially early on, is about, Garadai's like physical healing process, getting and dealing with his messed up leg and his wings with holes in them, and et cetera, and how he like for quite some time can't fly. And there's definitely like a Dumbo's magic feather sort of element to it, where it's just like he doesn't believe he deserves to be in the goddess Palarka's sky. Goddess Palarka being the dragon goddess who granted them all flight, and etc., who is brought up constantly and does end up playing kind of a role, which I won't spoil too much, but she's an important figure in the book, and it's just like the concept of dragon religion is really interesting, and it is, like I say, it is gone into quite a bit here of just like his Garadai's faith. Like he never stops believing in the goddess Palarka, which I'm probably mispronouncing, I'm sorry, but also he doesn't necessarily, but like it's more his faith in himself. It's really interesting. Just trust me on this. It's really good. It's good. It's there's some really neat stuff going on in there. War, which also, well, it doesn't have to go along with trauma and disability, but themes of trauma and disability generally go along with themes of war. Obviously, war plays a huge role in this book. That's like the fucking plot, man. Like, but yeah, they're at war, and it's really interesting of the way of just like how a huge part of it is just like how wars affect people who aren't even involved in them. Because like we open with him trying with Garadai trying to escape from a volley of cannon fire that is not aimed at him. It is not aimed at the people on the ground. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't hit them. So that was really good. That was really interesting. Yeah, it generally it's a pretty thoughtful book about like it's also very silly. Don't get me wrong, it's also very silly. It's a fucking horse girl movie from the point of view of the horse. But it's really good. It's got some really interesting ideas in there. John Wiswell is generally quite good at that. So the one last thing I do want to talk about here is I would like to just briefly touch on the actual writing. I do really like how John Wiswell writes. He has a way of writing about sex and romance that really just connects with me as an asexual, possibly arospec woman, where it's like, because we're seeing everything through, a monstrous, dragon POV, it's just kind of like sex is this like weird thing that humans do sometimes. And it's just like, keep it over there. I don't want to deal with any of that. And I'm just like, oh, worm? Oh, me? No one says oh, worm anymore. It's 2026. How old am I? So that was really good. There's also definitely, so there were references that I noticed. Not a whole lot, but there were definitely some like little bits. I'm gonna pull out the two that I noticed, because there were literally two. A character is talking to Rania about rumors that she basically sleeps around with anybody who asks, basically. There are rumors that you even sleep with people while on top of your dragon. What? No, Rania almost spat out her words. A dragon is not a sex toy. Not even a bad dragon. And I just kind of like, God damn it, John. And then way later, not that much later, actually, a few chapters later, there's a bit where, Garadai is chasing down, that he sees at the end of an alleyway, a man in just head to toe in black. And then the next chapter is called, The Man in Black, and opens with, the man in black fled across the deserted alleys, and the dragon followed. And as someone who read the first book in the Dark Tower series last year, I was like, God fucking damn it, John. But those are the only two references that like I actually recognized. I don't normally get those kinds of references, not often. I'm very disconnected from a lot of popular culture. And so that's my thing is just like, there's definitely references to other things in there that just like went right over my head. But the thing is that there wasn't anything that I can think of that didn't land as a joke because I didn't get the reference. Like, if you didn't know the Dark Tower thing, then just the man in black fled across the deserted alleyways and the dragon followed, just scans like a normal sentence. There's nothing that you have to really already know in order to understand that. And I like that kind of referential humor. My other thing is that there's definitely references to like other dragon writing fiction. So like, Dragon Riders of Pern, How to Train Your Dragon, Eragon, all that sort of thing that I did not get. There's definitely I have not engaged with any of those. I've seen the first two How to Train Your Dragon movies, and I did read the first book 1,000,000 years ago, when the first movie came out. But I never read Eragon. I never read Dragon Riders of Pern. I never read any of that or anything like that. I have not read Fourth Wing, and I'm not going to. So it's possible that there's some references to those things. It's possible that the having sex on top of your dragon thing may be that's my pet theory, knowing nothing about Fourth Wing, is that that's a dig at Fourth Wing. But it's probably not. It's probably just a excuse to do a bad dragon joke. Either way, if there were references to those things, they went over my head, but they didn't not work, if that makes sense. There are definitely times where I see like something that is making a reference to something else, and I'm just like, I don't know what this is. I have not seen a lot of movies. I have not read a lot of books. A lot of things that are considered nostalgic for my generation, I have no cultural touchstone with, because I didn't watch a lot of TV growing up. I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of TV growing up. And so there's a lot of that kind of thing that does kind of go over my head. But if that is the case here, it didn't clock as a reference that I wasn't getting, which is good. That's, if you are going to be making like silly referential humor in stuff, that is the way to do it. I think probably the biggest honor that I can give this book is that there are some aspects of it that remind me of the kind of literary humor that appeals to adults in Captain Underpants books. Which is a high honor, a great honor. Like, okay, there's a bit here. My other bookmark. We're gonna look at my one final bookmark here. So, pretty much immediately after Garadai Centerhead accidentally reveals to Rhaenyra that they can talk, she's drunk out of her fucking mind at this point. She's like plastered. She's a very sad drunk right now. And they, off he goes to go like comfort her and whatever, and ends up revealing, oh fuck, I can talk actually, oopsie. So pretty much immediately after this, so she passes out. She won't, said Upperhead. She needs to sleep this off. We need to get her home. Centerhead thrashed his head, wanting to chuck both the other heads and the woman off of his person. I am not giving her a moonlight ride back to bed. I am done. Chapter 21. Ugh, fine. So they carried her to her apartment. Do you see what I mean with the Captain Underpants thing? There's a bit in Captain Underpants where I can't remember what's going on there, but like fucking Melvin Sneedley, the fucking nerd kid in class, he's just done some bullshit, and I don't remember, George or Harold, one of the two of them says something to him along the lines of just like, well, just be glad you didn't get your comeuppance. And then you turn the page and the next chapter is called Comeuppance See Me Sometime, and it's just Melvin getting his comeuppance. It's the same kind of thing, and it's the same kind of humor that appeals to me in Captain Underpants. There's a bit in Dogman at one point where Cat Kid says to Petey, like, hey, is just like, hey, we should go visit Grandpa. We're gonna go see your dad. Let's go visit Grandpa. And Petey is like, absolutely the fuck not. I fucking hate my dad. He is the worst. I am not going to go see him. We are not going to go visit Grandpa. And then on the next page, it's like Chapter 4, visiting Grandpa or whatever. And it's just like, I do love a Gilligan cut. It must be said. But there's just a lot of that kind of little moments of humor that just really appeal to me. They just really hit for me. And I'm sorry for comparing it to Captain Underpants. But please understand that this is a high honor. The whole point of this here is that this book, fucking rules. And I definitely think you should check it out. I would recommend it for, anybody who likes dragons. If you like dragons, definitely read this book. People who are interested in like fantasy as an avenue for exploring, themes of trauma and disability and PTSD and stuff like that, definitely should check this out. If you like dragons, you should read it. Like, if you like dragons at all, you should read this book. It's a lot of fun. If you like funny, silly humor, fantasy, I really liked it. It's a really, really fun time. I just had a really good time reading it. I don't know if I think Someone You Can Build a Nest In is probably still my favorite John Wiswell book. But I actually liked this more than Wearing the Lion. I liked Wearing the Lion, don't get me wrong. It was also very good. But I liked this one more. So it's probably, I guess I put it in as second favorite. So this was a lot of fun. Really looking forward to what he writes next. Apparently he's working on his next book. I have seen that on Blue Sky as he's started writing his next one. I'm very excited. I do hope at some point he comes out with, I know he has written short fiction. I do hope at some point he comes out with a collection of short fiction, because I'm trying to read more short stories. I like to have them to read before bed. So hopefully he comes out with that at some point. So really enjoyed this book. I don't remember what rating I gave it. I think I want to say it was like 4 stars. Really good. Thanks for watching. I've been Rags. This has been my review of The Dragon Has Some Complaints by John Wiswell. You should read it. Go read it. This was a very weird and rambling time, and I'm not sure how much I liked doing this kind of rambly video. I think I'll try to stick to more scripted stuff from now on, but you should read John Wiswell. You should read The Dragon Has Some Complaints when it comes out. I believe it comes out in July, so you should read it. Do it.